I will just start by getting out of the way that she is in here, and she'll probably decide she does not want to be in here at some point. So I put her on the floor. She's noticed that the door's closed. She's flipping her tail. What are you gonna do, Floof? She's sitting. She's looking at the door. She's licking her toes. Floof! You want to go, Floof? Alright. She has chosen not to go out, so now that the cats tended to, I'll get down to this video. I wanted to sew something. I forgot to grab the cloth along. Excuse me, Foofies. Dear Foofus. Kate sent me this cloth a few years ago, and it is fabulous. And I have given some of this away to other doll sewing people, but I have not made anything from it yet. I had not. So I decided we were talking about making bomber jackets, and I decided I was going to make a bomber jacket with this. So I made this. And the thing is, to make a bomber jacket, it's mostly the cotton. What do you think, Floof? But the cuffs and collar and waistband are all made of knits. So that meant that I had to get into the drawer where I keep my knits for doll use and get out a knit to use for this. And I have been cramming fabric into that drawer for years. And so I got the stuff out to make the ribbing on this, and when I was putting the cloth back in that I had to move aside to get this cloth, like the sides of the drawer were squeaking and creaking because it was so stuffed. So I said, all right, I have to sew. I have to just grab lots of odds and ends of pieces to sew so I can get at least a little bit of room in the drawer, and there's hair on my lip, that's probably cat hair. So I have to do this so I can get it relieve some of the pressure so it doesn't creak when I put the cloth in there. So I started grabbing odds and ends of fabric from that drawer, knits that were in like short lengths and little bits and pieces that I gotten, a lot of time I've gotten from other people. Some were projects that I had done before. Sorry, I'm watching Floof. And because sometimes when I'm talking, she bites me. Floof, I'm not upset. I'm not talking politics. There's no need to bite me. No, I don't trust you. Shoo. Here, watch out, can I put this cardboard in front of my legs, or do you want to leave the room? Hold on. Yes, you should go. Thank you, Foo-Foos. Watch your tail, and I don't have much. Thank you. Okay, so now maybe I won't be in danger of being bitten because she doesn't like the tone of my voice. Anyway, so much knit cloth shoved into that drawer, got all the little odds and ends that people have given me and leftovers from other projects, and decided that I'm just going to make a ton of random things from all this stuff, and I'm not going to put a lot of thought into what I make. I'm just going to do what I can to use up the cloth, and I'm going to sew through it. And I posted pictures on Instagram a little over a week ago, and it took me like a week to sew everything. And so I'm going to show you things that I've sewn, things that I'm not going to put on dolls right now, things that I have put on dolls, and then I have another pile of dolls who are waiting to be dressed with some things. So we're going to see what happens in this video. All because I needed some knit for the edge of this. I haven't decided if I'm going to put this on a doll today or not yet either. So first I'm going to show you the clothes that I'm not going to put on any dolls in this video, which includes these stockings made of a great cat print. I got this shirt from Walmart years ago, Halloween kids shirt, that had contrast sleeves, and that was this print. So I had used this print to make some socks for someone else's dolls, and then I just went ahead and used all the rest of it to make several things from this that I think they're all going to end up on other dolls. So but I couldn't figure out who I wanted to put these on. But maybe I'll put them on the doll who's going to wear the dress made of this. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. And then Phantasm Creations had brought over a lot of scraps and odds and ends from projects she had sewn. And so I made these two things out of, really they were just scraps of the bug print. You can see most of this one is selvage, and all of this seam is the selvage. It's a really wide selvage, and I decided might as well try to work that into the design. I don't know if it's really successful. I don't know if it's interesting, or if, because when I look at it I just think, oh, it's the selvage. But it was an interesting selvage. So we have bugs. This is not too terribly well sewn because I don't have a lot of experience with knits, because I have not done well with knits in the past, so I've avoided them for doll clothes. But I had a major breakthrough during this project, which I'll get to on a specific dress, and so that. And then this, I'd actually run out of fabric. This is a completely different cloth used for the side, for the back, I mean. So, and then this, I think the purple did come from Phantasm Creation, but the sort of terracotta with geometric on it was something I got from Nata ages ago and turned into this sweater dress. And then I have this pile of larger scale doll clothes. This is for MSD size. Queen of Squids sent me this. It's actually a licensed Disney print, but it's really subtle. Like, see the mouse and blob there. It also says Minnie in some places on it. And this had been a pair of infant pants that she'd obviously used one half for her own doll stuff, so I used the entirety of the other half. I mean, this is the elastic that was built into those, that was, in those pants to begin with. I have not tried this on a doll yet, but they're tights, they're forgiving. So that's MSD size. Gee, lint, I wonder where that came from. This is just a completely free-handed beret I made for larger doll heads that's not on anyone else yet, and I really messed it up because I should have made the inner circle smaller, but like I said, freehand, didn't know what I was doing. But you'll see this cloth in a moment on a doll. And this is 60 centimeter doll size leggings. Although I had a hunch about this, and I tried these on my Sasha doll, and they actually fit. I already knew that 60 centimeter BJD sized shirts tended to fit Sasha, so I decided to try these on Sasha, and they actually fit. They didn't work. This is not a suitable style for a child doll like Sasha. So 90s. I would have worn stuff like this in the 90s. But that gave me an idea for something you'll see later that I made for Sasha, which gave me an idea for something else that you'll see for 60 centimeter dolls. Again, just a little scrap of cloth, just enough to make this. That came from Phantasm Creations. I don't remember where every bit of cloth I had came from, but I do for a lot. So this is also a Phantasm Creations Z-Stash. Cosmo Moore sent this cloth, and I used a little bit more for this for another thing. This was Pleasant Old Men in pink shirts, aka Briquette. Sent the fabric I used for these. And actually I had this one on Sasha. Super Dolphy stuff is the right size around, but everything's like full-length sleeve on Super Dolphy would be way too long for Sasha, but this worked well on Sasha. But I didn't go with this for her current look, but it's an option in the future. This is cloth that Cosmo Moore sent. Actually two different fabrics. There's the deer print, and then there's a plain gray for the ribbing. So that was nice that I could use that instead of using the deer. Pleasant Old Men in pink shirts. And this is my quickly drafted Super Dolphy size version of the drop shoulder shirt for Curvies and Kens that I shared. The main difference is, again, I drew this up freehand, so the sleeves tend to be super huge. And because it's a knit, I was able to do a band for the neckline instead of the facing. So I might actually try doing a knit band for the neckline on a woven version of this shirt to see how it works, because as easy as I think it is to do a facing and flip it over, I think it's even easier to do a band to finish tiny doll necklines. And this This cloth is from Pleasant Almond and Pink Shirts, and this cloth is from Cosmo War, and it's hilarious how well they match. I don't know if they both came from like maybe the same collection in Joanne Fabric, but the colors are just perfectly matched. There's the pale pink, the medium blue, the navy blue, the aqua, the white. Now there's no purple in this one, but there's no yellow in this one, or red, but still, I think they're really close. And this one I did initially make the sleeves full length, but I shortened it so this could be possibly a Sasha dress. It's just, my Sasha is not wearing that. I will show you now, my Sasha is wearing this. This is the shirt I made last time I did my big round of random sewing to use stuff up. Another Pleasant Almond and Pink Shirt / Briquette fabric. And I used my old Super Dolphy size jeans pattern to just try out on a hunch to see if that would work for jeans for Sasha. I mean, they're beyond high-waisted, but the fit's still pretty good. You see it has pockets all around the change pocket. I don't know if you can see the change pocket. I think you can because the cloth I used for this was one of the grab bags of fabric that I bought from the thrift store. Had the like bottom 10 inches of a hem of an acid washed denim skirt that someone had obviously shortened at some point. So I used that authentic acid washed denim skirt to make these pants. And it turns out that the stuff near the hem was paler than the stuff elsewhere, so we have some contrast in color. But that was nice that worked for Sasha. So now I know that Super Dolphy 60 centimeter BJD shirts roughly work for Sasha shirts, the pants roughly work for Sasha, and even the shoes. These are a little larger than Sasha's shoes and Sasha's feet, but they definitely fit. Which means there's more options for Sasha shoes than I had realized at first. So, and then the other thing about these pants was I was using them as kind of a trial run to see if I could use this pattern for the 60 centimeter dolls I have now. It's like I only made this pattern twice in the past when I had an actual Super Dolphy like 15 years ago. And a lot of dolls since then have been thinner than Super Dolphy. So I made these up and then I tried them on another doll I had. A couple dolls, and one of them was closer to the fit, so I went ahead and worked the jeans up for that doll. Here, put her here since that's where she goes. And ended up with these pants on the Bo Bobby body. This is Impul doll Vanessa head. And I dyed everything green so it could match. But this is one of the shirts that I made from the random cloth. I think this was one of husband's shirts that I shortened. This fabric came from Nada's D-Stash, and this fabric came out, yes, I don't need to remember all the stuff I do, and this fabric came from Phantasm Creations. It's like, so thank you everyone for sending fabric. For the most part, I remember where it came from, but not necessarily. Anyway, so the pants that I made for the Sasha worked pretty well, and I was able to figure out what I needed to change to get them to fit this Bo Bobby body, and I wanted it to be like a wide leg 90s look, and I was able to use the hem of the skirt to get the proper bleached and mangled look of actual stonewash stuff and acid washed. You can see I did not get that on the inseam, but I don't know, can you see though, I did double stitch. I double stitched a lot of stuff. I took my time on these, which you know is not common for me. I even, again, it doesn't show up very well because everything's so pale. But it took some time to do fancy stitching on the pockets. Really. So I completed the very 90s look with some hair clips. So I decided, yeah, for whatever reason, she doesn't look like she's straight out of a Delia's catalog, but she's Delia's adjacent, or adjacent. I never know how to pronounce that. Okay, so, and as you can see, she sometimes stands well. So I did make other things for the 60 centimeter dolls, which I only have 2 others of right now. So Mika got this shirt. Here we go. Hero Doll Mika is floppy. I know I have restrung her, but I might need to again, because it wasn't until I got the Bo Bobby body from Pandorful that I think that was my first properly tightly strung doll I've ever experienced. And I thought I had this one strung well, and I had not. So, at some point I need to get in there and fight with her elastics. But as you can see, she has this groovy 1980s shirt. I thrifted this cloth. I think it was also in a thrift fabric grab bag. I made a full-sized sweatshirt for the kiddo out of this, and then leftovers I finally made into this doll item. Doll garment, doll item. And then the other 60 centimeter doll item I made this time was this sweater, which I don't know if you can see. You can see when I pull it over the sequins. It's made of a slightly sheer fabric, so she does have another shirt under it for modesty. And I don't know what style these dolls are wearing, but they're wearing them. I mean, it's nice for me to actually think about changing the ball jointed doll's clothes more than once a year. And then the other larger doll size thing I made was, I got, again, this was Phantasm Creation cloth, just enough to cut this pair of tights for this size. And I went ahead and tried them on her just to see if they fit. This is a Delilah Noir. Who was she made by? Ashton Drake? Delilah Noir. And the tights actually fit really, really well. I'm happy with them, even if they're not my normal colors. And they don't match anything else she's wearing, but they fit, so that was nice. And now I'm going to show you more clothes that I'm not going to put on any dolls right now, because I decided to send these to John. My box for his birthday this year I thought was going to be early, but the world said no. So none of these were made with John in mind, but after I made all of this big pile of cloth and started going through things, I thought, well, that could be for John, and that could be for John, and that could be for John. And the overwhelming but not completely universal theme of this is blue, because John likes blue. So this is a variation on the dolman sleeve shirt that I made, only shorter because I didn't have enough of this cloth. This is from Phantasm Creation, both of these, to make it longer, and a skirt to go with it. 3 of these shirts, using more Phantasm Creations cloth. I did not initially make 3 of them thinking I will give them all to John, but I decided, why not? This is also Phantasm Creation cloth, both of them, just enough to make this shirt. And this was, yes, also Phantasm Creation. As were these. This did not turn out quite as like I thought it would. I was hoping that this would be floofier, but I think John can make it work because it's a particular set of colors for a particular character doll that he has a lot of, so he might be able to find a use for that. This is also a Phantasm Creation fabric, about a 6-inch swatch, and it's this weird knit with metallic sparkles on it, bonded to a stretchy lace. And this is a very short dress, but I feel like it might work for John's fashion royalties. And more of that Puzzle Almond pink shirts. I mean, maybe it's pajamas, maybe not. It'll be up to John to decide. And I'm okay showing these because either John's going to be too busy to watch, or he's going to watch and forget. So, love you, John. more Pleasant Omen and Pink Shirts cloth. This is that combo again, the Pleasant Omen and Pink Shirts cloth and the Cosmo cloth that match really well. This is the bird print on the ribbing, and you can see the birds just barely on the edges, but it works. See, how's my battery doing? Okay. Cosmo sent this. I used most of what Cosmo sent to make a pair of shiny leggings for my 60 centimeter dolls, and there was enough left over to make this. That incredibly 90s Nada cloth again. And this is also very 90s Nada cloth, but in another way. And then, usually I make stuff for John that's either very elaborate or very mod or both. And I do plan to make some more stuff like that. I just wanted to get a decent amount knocked out. Because he has so many dolls, he needs a lot of clothes. And so I keep telling myself why it's okay to send him stuff that's not super duper high quality, elaborate, showing off my skills work. But this is a little more mod than the other stuff that I've sewn, and I think that will suit his dolls a little better. And then a pair of leggings with some shiny cuffs, because why not? So that's the pile of stuff for John. Now we're going to get into what you're here for. The big mess of dressing dolls. Hold on, let me put this in the box of stuff for John. I hope that didn't jostle the camera too much. Okay, so I mentioned earlier that I had a sort of revelation breakthrough with this, and that was when I was sewing this dress, which I only put on a doll already because I wanted to see how it actually fit the doll. This is a pattern that I used a lot in the early 2000s to make little skimpy dresses for female action figures that I would sell to help pay for my car insurance. And I hated sewing knits like this. You see, this is a synthetic knit with foil on it, spider webs, sparkles. And I always thought my problems with it, even when I was using a ballpoint needle like you're supposed to with knits, I always thought my problem with it was that this kind of cloth was just too cheap and too thin to use with stuff with really narrow seam allowances that you use for dolls. But I wanted to use this fabric, and this was like a 6-inch swatch, and I wanted to use it all up just to get it out of the drawer. And I thought, okay, this is going to turn out terrible, it's going to be horrible to draw, but I'll use it and that'll be that. And then I got to the time when I was ready to sew it, and I sewed it, and I had no problems. I won't say zero problems with it, but I did not have at all the problems with it that I expected to have. And I thought, oh, well, maybe this is a higher quality swatch of cloth than I'm used to, or maybe my machine is better, or maybe I've just gotten better even though I have like practically no more experience with sewing this stuff. And I didn't think about it, and then I picked up, I don't know if it was this one, but something. Well, okay, the way I do these is I sew everything I possibly can with the same thread. And this was the purple thread. I might have run out of this while I was sewing it. I can't remember when but anyway, ran out of the purple, decided, all right, it's time to switch thread, and I'm going to sew these blue aqua. I'm going to get an aqua thread so I can sew this. Well, my only aqua thread is this really cheap thread that I used to use all the time. So I thought, well, I used to use this, it's fine. And I started the stitch on this really sturdy, nice quality cotton interlock knit, and the machine jammed it up and wadded up and tried and made a horrible mess of it. And I thought, well, that's what I expected this to do. Why is it doing with the cotton? Oh, it's the cheap thread. So that was a huge revelation to me. I've always been, of course you've always been told to use good thread. And you think, well, yes, of course, using better stuff will make better materials, but this cheap thread works, so what's the problem? Well, now I know that the cheap thread was why I had such a terrible time sewing this stuff. So, I mean, the thread that I get is not expensive. There's an online sewing store that I like, and you can ask me about it. I'm not here to promote them, but you can get, or I get a spool of thread this big, that's 1,000 meters, 1 whole kilometer of thread for like less than $2. or you can go up to a kilometer of high quality Gutermann thread for like less than $4 and in hundreds of colors. So I am sold on big old spools of nice thread now, even more than I had been when I was just buying them for the convenience of having a whole kilometer of thread at once without having to deal with a whole bunch of small spools. So anyway, good thread, revelation, sewed this with absolutely no problem. But this is just a dress. She needs shoes at least, right? So it's time to dig into the trunk. I don't think you can see it very well in this video, but you know what's in here. The chaos. The bags. The bags and more bags. Alright, so I have no idea what else I want to coordinate with this. Shoes, tights, jacket. I have a cat hair in my eye, sorry. So I'm going to open a jacket baggie. Well, I mean, I could just go straight to the Spoopy Dinosaurs. I don't know if that quite works. Do I want to do a big contrast with this sparkly bodycon little dress and a nice beige cardigan? Which actually is really nice beige cardigan, it's A-zone. Came with the Al Shima Girls Mission action figure, one of those. It's probably one of the nicest pieces of mass-produced doll clothes I've ever seen. At least that I own, definitely. And I like the contrast, but I don't know if I want to be subtle with this. Or to go the other direction. With ridiculous fluffy sparkles. I've kept these socks. These are from the 90s, from like a Safari Barbie outfit. They're completely ridiculous socks. And I've kept them so that I can put them on doll hands. So when I put on a cardigan, the fingers won't be as likely to snag the knit. I've lost one of the socks. Like within the last year, I had those socks easily for 20 years. And they have been in my bag of cardigans. And I don't know where it's gone. But I can still do one hand at a time. I think that'll be a look. This cardigan is it's technically sold as Blythe or possibly even Bratz size. But that doesn't stop me from cramming them on any other doll that they even vaguely fit. I'm trying to rush. Oh, the camera recognized her face as a face. So we're getting into cyberpunk Halloween clothes here. Alright, hosiery, shoes, other accessories. Hat. Hat? Which one of these is a hat? And I really should break hosiery out into one of these bags someday. I had planned to, but it didn't work out. And this is from one of the wrestling dolls. Will even fit a... it will fit a maid-move body. It's kind of surprising. I'm not going to go with it because it should sit up higher and it's gray. No belts. Hats. I'm looking for hats. Which is my hat bag? What's my hat bag? Do we have any black hats? I've stopped talking again, haven't I? Barbie witch hat. Maybe that's doing too obviously Halloween. I don't know, can you get too obviously Halloween? I don't think you can, but maybe it's what I'm thinking is it's not obviously cyberpunk. I'm sure there'll be other opportunities arising to put the witch hat on at all. Another Etsy knit hat. Because I don't knit. I might go with that. Alright. Hosiery. Shoes. The deep, deep box. Alright. Do I have... I don't think will stain. The question is always will it stain, and I think I made these, and I think they have not stained body. I don't know. The made to moves are entirely vinyl. If anything's going to be stained, it's going to be them. I'm pretty sure that this hasn't stained, but I don't know what size I made this for, because I made these a long time ago. Excuse me. Yeah, that's close enough to fitting. So here's where we are with this. And so now she needs shoes. So do I go with purple shoes or black shoes? And this box is going to have purple in it. Oh, I don't think that will work. The 90s-ness of it all. Too casual. I don't know if you need to see what I'm doing. I'm trying to lift it over the arm. I actually don't have a lot of purple shoes, I realized recently. I mean, I have enough to be completely stuffed into this one compartment of the box. Yeah, I want black shoes, I think. Which is the overflow purple shoes are rebelling. The black shoes are in the next box, as well as beyond for boots. I don't think I'm going to go all the way to big boots. And I can do something a little more modern then. I might go with that. I think I've put these boots on kind of a witchy doll before. I should save the Skipper high tops, Converse type shoes for dolls who need them. Because there are a lot of dolls who need them. Yeah, I could do those, but they have open toes. I don't know what the paradigm is for wearing open-toe boots with tights, but I imagine it's, don't. Alright, so here we are with this doll. It was my quasi-cyberpunk doll anyway. Jewelry. I know this was one of like 1990s Elvis wrist cuffs. And I'm dropping. Sometimes I put them on other parts. Actually, I think this one's originally his watch. I put them on other parts of the dolls sometimes. Can you even see what I'm doing? I think you can. I don't think my standard black bracelet is free, but I do have this Hi Puffy Amiyumi bracelet. I trimmed my fingernails the other day, so now I can't actually grab anything. Also, and I know Sam's commented on the way I look over my glasses, that's because my prescription has wandered, and I can see fine up close without my glasses, but my glasses make seeing things up close kind of blurry. So when the world is safe again, I will go get my prescription updated. I don't know if that skull is too much of a blast of white in the middle of the other black. Okay, so maybe no necklace, or no bracelets. Or I could abandon the hat and do just the goggles. I could do the goggles and the hat together. These are goggles I got in a trade from an action figure person ages ago. I don't know what they're from. I kind of suspect Star Wars, but I don't know. Wow, they're dusty. So maybe I'll leave her at this point for now. So there's one doll finally dressed. Not counting the other dolls who are already dressed. And like I said, I put this dress on her just to see how the dress would work on a modern doll body, because I hadn't made dresses like this for like 15 years. This was the basis that I modified to make the bodycon tank dress for Kirby that I shared, but I think I did weird things with the shoulders on that. I really don't remember. So it went through iterations to get shared with you for a modern size, and this size is for old. And it fits made to move modern Barbie bodies pretty well. Maybe I'll drop that around her neck for now. Alright, one. Put that on the pile of big dolls. Alright, and then there was another dress I made that I immediately tried on a doll just to see if it would fit a body. It didn't, and then I tried it on a Kirby, and that's this dress. This is that plain gray cloth Cosmo gave me that coordinated with this. And this cloth is from something that Nada sent. It's wool, I can tell by how itchy it made my fingers, and there was really not a lot of it. But I still wanted to use it just to make something, and ended up with this. So she needs shoes and stuff. Eventually I will reroute this doll, because right now she's just in a Safi wig. So yeah. Who's your... Oh, wait a minute. How could I forget? This mask I made from a like cheap Halloween skeleton toy that I got from the Bolt toy bin in Goodwill years ago. That white head, the white elastic is so, stands out so much though. The heritage child just run over, he's probably going to ask me for something, but I have a sign on my door that says recording a doll video. So, we'll leave this for now. We'll see if I go through for this with pictures. So, she needs more. Going all the way down to the socks again. I don't know why I keep the socks all the way at the bottom. It's just where it's ended up over the years. I mean, not everybody wears socks, so I guess they're at the bottom because not everybody wears socks. Alright, I could do the larger versions of the Made to Move curvy soccer players socks. Kind of would match, in theory would match the yellow and pink of the shirt, the bodice, but it's bright, so maybe not. What do we got? What do we got? I don't know if that's good enough or if that's a bit of a stretch. I think I'm going to go with it. Now if I can find the other one of those socks. If I can find the other one of those socks. It should be in here. Like I said, I'm fairly careful with things like dull socks, which is why it just made me extra baffled that I lost that one that I was using as sleeve protectors to keep the fingers from destroying things. Is there a hole in the back of that? There it is, by my 20 foot. Alright, so now she needs shoes. These socks I actually made for 15-inch dolls, so they're a little generous at the ankles. Not enough contrast. Too much bunching. I don't know if you can hear the child is out there watching things and husband is out there watching things. I mean, sometimes it's out there the child is watching a thing on his computer and husband is watching a thing on his computer and I'm playing Animal Crossing. So it can be kind of noisy out there. Do I hear a cat asking to come in? I might. How much time have I destroyed now? No. 45 minutes, so it says there's only 30 minutes left on the card, so this might be multiple takes. So I think I have white version of these somewhere. I don't know where. They should be here. Somebody must be wearing them now. It's still kind of like, I mean, this kind of matches the dirty yellow on the top, so I think I'm going to go with these. That I cut a slit on so they would fit a completely non-Barbie doll, but that just means they're easy to put on because these weird 90s hiking boots were always really, really hard to put on even high-heeled doll feet for 90s Barbies. Let's see. Necklace? No, I don't think a necklace. Hat. Hat? Maybe a turban instead of this. I don't know. Wait, I have an idea. Maybe it'll work. I don't know if you remember, there was a trend in the early 2000s to put your hair up in tiny braids, slash me, with tiny, tiny, tiny little hair clips. And when that trend died, they showed up in big lots. And I bought them for my dolls. So we're going to go with this for now, with the tiny, tiny hair clip. And eventually, I said I will reroute her, and the camera recognizes her face as a face, which that is very generous with facial recognition because she has rhinestones for eyes. So, good. Alright. So those were the only 2 6-scale dolls, so I tried clothes on to see if they fit. You know, I tried them on the Sasha and BJT and stuff, but so everyone else here is just kind of random. Like I said, I don't know how many of them I will get through before I run out of space on my memory card because I didn't delete all the old stuff before I started recording. So I'll just grab it all. So it's this Stacy, vintage Stacy, I think Flo sent, that I put on a wrestling doll body that James sent. I'll probably leave these shoes on because I don't have a lot of variety. Well, actually I do. I do have some variety on the shoes for these dolls, but I'm going to try this. This is the same pattern I used for the sparkly spiderweb dress, the cyberpunk outfit thing, and that cat sleeve print again. This is an adorable dress, and it's Takara, so it's fairly well made, but there's just like this huge, to me, problem in the center of it. There is a layer of fancy, like shiny cloth and a lining. And the lining is just ever so slightly short that causes this fold in the fancy cloth there. And I might be able to work with things to get that like literally ironed out. But it's been there for so long that it's just a little annoying. So I'm going to put a different black and white dress on this doll. See if I can get this over those shoes. And I have not tried this dress on this wrestler doll body. It's a little loose up top. It's fine. Of course, you can see the ridge of her underwear. I might take that underwear off. I had the underwear on her because that other dress was so short and A-line. This dress. I mean, she has molded on underwear anyway, so what am I worrying about? Not going to put the underwear away because it goes in the hosiery box. So I don't know what else I would give her. I don't know, would that be overkill to do the skull or the cat and crossbones print dress, the dinosaur print jacket? I think that Hi Puppy Emmy bracelet might work better with this. Take my time. Yeah, I might go for an hour with this and then stop, which I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dolls down here. And some of them are like guys where I'm just going to change the shirts, and others are I have no idea what I'm going to do to coordinate with this one piece of clothes that I made. So that will probably fill out a decent amount of time in another video. So I guess I will stop after her. I'll probably be over an hour by the time I'm done with her because I'm going to waffle and vacillate over loads of things. Can you even see that necklace? There's so low contrast with how pale the doll is. It kind of looks like the stereotype of what's cat collars wear, right? Let's see, what else can I do for her? I'm going to leave the clip in her hair. You can see tiny... Oh no, it's not okay. It's an actual... It's a tiny actual hair clip, also from the early 2000s, from Big Lots. Again, it's from that trend of putting your hair up with a whole bunch of little tiny clips and tiny clips and clamps and hair clips, and like Mom bought me a pack of, they were little tiny like spider barrettes, and I never could figure out how to, because my hair is so fine, I never could get them in. Also, that was back when I completely rejected being trendy in any way, shape, or form. I'm beyond that now. I'm not good with trendy. So, okay, anything else? I don't think she needs a jacket because, you know, we gotta show up those beautiful arms. Let me see if I might have a different pair of shoes that could work. I'm not sure. I keep forgetting. I'm almost forgetting. I got all these shoes over here. These are, no, those are Ken. I need the wrestler shoes. And I know we could go with the boots instead of the pumps. Well, I feel like if she's going to wear boots, she should wear tights. I don't know if we're getting a little Julie Newmar meets modern kitsch goth. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I feel like the tall boots are making it very, say, kind of 1960s, but not 1960s at all. But the doll head is 1960s, so that might be influencing me. So I think we're going to stay with these. Go with the purple, the counterpoint to the cyber doll. No, we're not going to think about this anymore. So, in this roughly hour, I've shown you things that I've sewn that I'm not going to put on dolls, things I've sewn that I've already put on dolls, and then as far as the dolls I've dressed, her completely, but not really because I left her shoes on, and she got socks, shoes, and a hair clip, and she got everything but the dress. Because we're ready for Halloween. Alright, so that's been right around an hour. I'm sure once I've edited me, like, going to the door and waiting for Floof to make up her mind, it will be a little considerably more or less than an hour. But I will do the other dolls in another video some other time, maybe tomorrow. See, since the child is doing virtual school, I feel like I can't really do these during the day because either you will hear the teacher from the next room, Or if he has to talk to the teacher, then you'll hear me in this room talking about dolls. Maybe I'm worrying a little much, maybe not. We'll see if I decide to do this tomorrow, during or after school. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this is a nice hour of babbling that you can use for good background noise. And I'll get these pictures up eventually, and I'll see you around. Bye.